In this video, I'm going to show you one complete mini stack app where I'm using the latest mini stack, like latest version of MongoDB along with Angular 6.1 with GraphQL. This is a community project. So by end of this video, you'll be able to download the entire source code. And if you want to enhance it further, or if you want to deploy it over cloud or your own premises, please feel free to do that. Again, it's a community project. Again, this video is not for beginners, but I'm not expecting you to be an expert to understand these technologies either. So please take this video as a design pattern discussion, and if you like this, then definitely you can download the entire source code and deploy it. So let's get started. But before I start, I want to show you quickly what this app does. So as you can see, if you don't have an account, you can easily sign up. And if you do have an account, you can quickly log into this one. One thing I want to show you, just pay attention to this one, this right hand side of the screen here. Once you log in, you will get a token. This is a JSON web token, is an encrypted web token, and the token, what's coming from the server, it doesn't have your password. So let me show you what else this app does. Good thing is you can update your settings, regular things, you can update your password, etc. What it does here, this is in this app, you maintain all the employee payroll related information. So for example, and you can also maintain your employee records and vouchers and expenses and payables, etc. So let me just quickly walk you through what it does. So suppose you can manage your employee here. As you can see, this is the whole screen is made in like Angular 6 material, the latest material framework. You can quickly, as you can see, very nice looking icons. You can add a new employee here, and these are collapsible menus. So let me close this. See that you can maintain your all the employee date of birth, father's name, mother's name, etc. Address, if you have different addresses for employee, qualifications, and then on the HR side, as you can see, it asks for 3 different things. So you have to have a job code, you have to have a salary code, and you have to have a leave code. So let me quickly show you where it is coming from. So once you go to the setup, it's asking you to create a new job code. So either you can create a new job code, or what you can do, you can edit the existing job code. So what job code is? Job code is just like, suppose you are a sales manager. So it tells you what your job roles is, duties or description, things like that. So this is basically a very simple screen. You can have as many job codes as you want. So as you can see, you can edit it, delete it, search it, add a new, things like that. Similar to job code, you have a leave code. What leave code is, like, it tells you, suppose you are a full-time employee, you are allowed to have 25 leaves. So suppose I'm going to change it to 30 leaves and update it. As you can see, it quickly updates the data and it shows 30 here. Salary code is little, tricky here. So in salary code, suppose, you have different type of employees. So you can have hundreds of different types of salary structure. So I want to quickly show you one salary structure. So for example, in your sales manager grade 1, you are paying them like, a best salary of 10,000, and then bi-weekly, pay frequency is monthly. You pay him an allowance, it's called dearness allowance, and 1,000. And then you can have as many allowances, and you can have as many as you can see, it's very nice looking GUI interface here. So suppose you pay him a yearly bonus, and I call it allowance, and you just say bonus, and you pay him like, say, for example, 20,000, something like it. Okay. So see, automatically it calculates the total. And then suppose this entry is wrong, you can get rid of this one. Same thing, you can have like deductions. So for example, you have a PF deduction, and see, you decide to deduct the 1,000. See, the number changes immediately here. You can update this one. So again, the point is like you can have as many as salary code as you want. And then once you have your employee, all you need to do, attach one salary code to that employee, and I'll tell you what benefit you get here. So suppose this salary code is attached to that employee. So whenever you want to calculate the salary of this employee, you don't have to go through all this. So let me show you exactly what it does. So salary voucher, suppose you're creating a salary voucher. First thing is ask you, search employee and create a salary voucher. So first it says, okay, give me this employee, and you can see there's a different icon here. You click on this one. So see that it automatically pulls all the employee related information, and it pulls all the salary codes, or you don't need to redo all that thing. So again, you can have as many salary codes as you want, and you can create the salary. You don't have to redo this thing. Just like fill something, say, you know what, this is August 1st, and this is salary voucher number 10,001. That's it. Create salary voucher. That's simple. Code already exists. Okay. So that means it's telling me, oh, there's already, see, it knows that this voucher has already been issued. So let's do one thing. Let's pay him using 10,002. Okay. So again, I'm paying him, for example, for the month of September, and this time I will give him 10,002. Same salary, or if you want, like, this time you want to pay him some extra bonus, say other allowance, and I'm going to call it say suppose 200. Okay. This time I'm going to just say this one, data is saved. So as you can see now, if I fetch this one, your this time a different salary has been issued for the month of August. Good thing is, as you can see, it's a beautiful UI here. So you can say you can search it automatically. It filters the results. You can this data table is an Angular data table, and as you can see, there's a very nice looking sorting order here. You can sort on any field you want. It's that intelligent. And then you can suppose you make a mistake, you go back and say, you know what, I shouldn't have paid this allowance to him. Just recalculate that, update this again, and then you'll be it's all good. So basically that's a very it's nice app. That's what it does. Again, as I said, this is a community project, so I'll share the code with you, how you can deploy it on your own premises and do all these things. Okay. There are other UIs. Feel free to use that. There's a little help I included. Suppose you don't know what salary code is. This help changes, and for example, I'm on a different page, say leave code. So pay attention to this. The help, it changes based on the page. Second thing is, it lets you go back to your settings page anytime you want, and if you are getting in trouble, you can always send an email to very quick help icon here. Okay, what else I can tell you? So about us is a static page. There is not much information here, but it's you can just put whatever you want. So this is a static page. It's not doing anything. It's not making any more contribution. So one more thing, vouchers, similar to the vouchers, what you can do, you can create a new voucher. Okay, this is I'll fix this code. This is just for the debugging purpose. But you can create different vouchers for different vendors on the different dates. When was the voucher entered, received date, due date, paid date, things like that. And then you can have the line amount similar to this one. Say, look at this. So suppose I am buying one item, say item 1 for 10,000, and then I want to give a discount. Discount is like I say 5% discount. See, so 500 as 500, and then there are tax. Okay, you can calculate tax. Tax is 9.75, for example, 9.8. So it calculates the tax. What is the shipping amount? Shipping amount is fixed. So I'll say I chart 30 as a shipping amount. This is the final amount, and suppose I decide to pay 8,000. This is the balance. So and again, it's not allowing you to add because you haven't entered anything here. So I'm saying, okay, again, it's a regular voucher or it's an expense voucher. You can manipulate all this, and whatever you want you can put it here. And then its status is support, for example, open. Now once you fill in all the required field, it will allow you to add that. Simple. So let's go back and see your voucher is added there. So basically, this is a community project. Again, I keep on saying that. So you will be able to add more pages, or update it, or whatever you want. So let's get started. I'll show you how to quickly deploy this thing on your own machine. Again, so I'll include the link to my GitHub repository, but basically this is where you'll find all the code you need to have it. All you need to do, just go to this link, clone or download the zip. Okay, I'm not going to download it because I already just now I downloaded it. Let me show you where. Okay, so that you can see just now, like it's like 30 minutes ago I downloaded this one. All you need to do, and this is a 270 KB project, very small, very simple icon here. Okay, so all you need to do, extract everything out there, and then just copy all these things, create a directory somewhere. Suppose, for example, HCM, paste it everything there. That's it. That's all you need to do. So now let me tell you how to install that. So right now this app is built in, is using MongoDB as the backend. Again, this is a design pattern. Let me show you one more thing. This whole front end, suppose you want to use HTML or Bootstrap or any other GUI, project source, Clarity, whatever you want. Suppose you want to do this in React or Vue.js, with little configuration, you will be able to do that. So you can change the, this UI. UI is not important. The functionality is more important here. At the same time, I'm using GraphQL. So what it does on the back end, I'm using MongoDB. So suppose in future you want to use MySQL or Oracle or anything, with little configuration, you will be able to do that as well. So let me show you how to deploy that. Sorry. So you download this zip. Okay. Next thing is, so I'll include also installation instructions here too. Okay. So basically there are only three steps. Okay. Very simple steps. First step is DB installation. So you have to have a database first. Again, I'll include the link. So basically, let's go to the MongoDB. Again, it's not a database tutorial, so I'm not going to show you how to download MongoDB. But basically, just go to the MongoDB and get the MongoDB. Okay. So if you are precaution, if you are using Windows 32-bit machine, you have to use the 3.2.20 versions. And the problem with that version is you can have only 2 gigabytes of data on that. So just be careful. I think if you have to use MongoDB, please upgrade your Windows machine to 64-bit. Otherwise, it's very simple. So all you need to do, go ahead, download it, and then just very standard installation instruction. Just just download it and just follow the installation. So that's all you need to do. Second thing is, suppose you don't want to install. There is something, I've been using MLab as the MongoDB service. You can again just create an account here, free account here. Again, I'm not getting anything from them. It's just a recommendation. You can have any online service for MongoDB. This is the reason I use this, because it's giving me free. So all you need to do, sign in and just create a database there. That's all you need. That's basically it. Okay. So that's the database, very simple. Now let's go back to the repository. Okay, so this database is installed. Again, there's a MySQL version, but unfortunately I'm not done with that. So sorry guys, I'm not going to share those instructions. Maybe in near future, once I update that MySQL version, I'll let you know. Okay. Second thing is, you have to have installed Node.js. This is the must-have, because this is a mini stack. So Node.js is the must-have. So go to nodejs.org, okay, get the latest version of the Node.js. That's all you need. Okay. Again, I'm not going to go through how to install Node.js, but basically that's, you must have a Node.js. That's it. So now let's go back to any command prompt window. I have Visual Studio Code open, so I'm just all you need to do, you can have any command prompt window. It doesn't matter if you're in Windows or Mac OS, whatever. All you need to do, so suppose I have copied everything to that HCM directory. Okay, let me copy it over again, so that it's. So for example, all of this thing, where did I download it? I'm going to create a new folder here. I'm going to call it suppose payroll. Okay, and in the download, all of these files here, I'm going to copy this. Go to my desktop, payroll. I'm going to paste everything out there. Simple. Okay, it's going to take only very few seconds. It's like, it's not even 1 MB. The whole software is not even 1 MB. Okay. Okay, so while it is doing, okay, so open any command prompt window. Just now, let's go and say, I want to go to that payroll directory. CD into payroll. Sorry guys, my machine is very slow because I'm trying to also record this. So go to that payroll, do a ls, so it will tell you their directory, client and server. What I want you to do, go to that client directory. Okay, maybe let's go to the server. Sorry, I keep on mixing that. Okay, so first thing you need to check your node. So and node-v. It will tell you that you have a successful installation of node or not. Okay, you must have this one. If you do not have this node, then please stop and just fix your node first. Okay, reinstall your node version. Second thing you want to do, npm-v. It's not required. NPM is bundled with Node, but again, it's just a practice that I want to quickly check what NPM version I have. Okay. Next thing is you have to install these three packages. Okay. NPM install. So if you're on a Mac, just do sudo. If you're not, then sudo npm install -g. Okay, and then you need to have these three: nodemon, course. There's one more: angular / add angular /layers add angular -cli. Okay, you basically just I have written 3 different commands, but you can do all these things in these 3. Okay, I have all these three things, so that's why I'm not going to do this over again. But basically, that's pretty much it. That's all you need. Okay, so I assume you do this thing. Okay, once you hit this command, once all these things are done, okay, so that means you have successful installation of npm and all the required packages. Okay, then it's very simple. Go to the CD and then CD into server. Okay, all you need to do, just hit nodemon start. That's it. Okay, I'm already running this, so first let me just to avoid any clash, I want to close this. Okay, I'm going to close this as well. I should have closed everything. Okay, guys. So I assume sorry, I had a little bit trouble installing this one because of my machine. So let's start where we left on this one. In the payroll, this thing I copied everything to this payroll, and I assumed you have a successful installation of Node here, and you installed these 3 different packages: npm install -g nodemon. You will need course, and you will need angular /CLI. These are the only 3 things you need. Okay, so suppose you are installed these things. Okay, then next thing you have to do, go to this directory payroll, and inside this payroll directory, let me show you ls. So I want you to go to server. Okay, inside this server, I'll do the ls again. All you need to do is npm install. Okay, that's it. So while we are waiting, let me open one more command prompt window. Okay, this is the server. By the way, what we are doing here, we are installing the server. Let's go to the CD, and then payroll. So this is the another command prompt window I opened. Okay, ls. So this time I will go to the client directory. Again ls, this is the angular. So let's go to the angular directory. The reason I created different directories here, because in future, if you want to have, I will show you how to use React or Vue.js or HTML, Bootstrap, things like that. Okay, so this is the angular directory, ls. Next thing you have to do, npm install. That's it. So 2 different installation I'm doing, one for the client, one for the server. Okay, now while we are waiting, let me go back and show you a couple of other things. Okay, so let me do a code walkthrough. Okay, couple of things you will so under the payroll directory server, there's a file called environment. Now pay attention to this environment. This is a very, very important file here. Okay, all you have to see, this is the DB type is MongoDB. This is JW secret is my super secret password. Remember I told you about the JWT web token. This is the super secret password. This is the password is used to encrypt, make that encryption key. So you can change it. Please change it. Okay. Other thing is allowed origin. What allowed origins are? This is these are the only websites which will be allowed to access your server. So right now is localhost 3000, localhost 4200, but please change it. You do not want to put a star here. You do not want every other any other website on the internet to access your server. So please block it. Just make use of these settings here. Most important thing, you need that MongoDB database. So remember I told you, you have to sign up your MLab, or if you have a local MongoDB URL, whatever it is, you have to have this thing. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And these are MySQL settings. Right now, again, I said MySQL version is not working, so please ignore this thing. But in future we have to, I'll show you how to make changes to this one. So most important, again, this is bare minimum you need. You need your MongoDB local URL or like remote URL, whatever you need here. Okay, that's one thing you need. Second thing is, go to your index.js file. So in the same directory server, there's a file called index.js. So here, suppose you are using MLab version. Okay, very simple. Okay, it's not a rocket science here. So all you need to do here, see, this is for the local and this is for the remote. So suppose you are using MLab version. In my case, I am. So I'm going to uncomment this and I'm going to comment this. Basically, that's it. That's all you need to do. And save this one. Okay. So basically, all I'm telling MongoDB, I'm passing that where is my MongoDB is located. That's, just pay attention to this one, and then you will be fine. Okay. Now let's go back to the installation we are doing. That's the bare minimum setting you will need to do. Okay. Let's go to the Node.js. Let's go to the first command prompt window. I hope that's finished. It's not. Oh, it is. Okay. So here, this is, remember I'm into the server directory here. Okay. So all you need to do, nodemon start. That's how you start the server. And you can create a Windows server service so that you have to restart it over and over again once you deploy it. Or if you have deployed to the cloud, you'll not have to redo that again. But see that, so now you see that it's complaining about, like saying, okay, you know what, it still didn't like it. What is complaining about? That MongoDB URL is complaining about the MongoDB URL. Okay. Now again, by default, I intentionally didn't put it, my MongoDB environment file here. Sorry guys, I didn't put it here. So let me do this thing. I'm going to close this, and I am going to replace this. So in the HCM server, okay. HCM server. I'm looking for, what I'm looking for is my original environment file where I've written my user ID and password. Basically, all I need to do here, replace this thing here. Okay, so okay, that's why it's not, because .env file is not showing over there. Okay, see that? I'm going to copy this and server. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to rename this one, and I'll say 2, and I'm going to rename this one. Again, all I'm doing here is just like creating my MongoDB URL here. Okay, simple. Now let me go back, Control C, and I'm going to hit that command again, nodemon start. And this time it should connect. It should tell me that, okay, it's able to connect to the MongoDB. See, it came back, it says connected to MongoDB list. Now let's go to the second window, the client version. Okay, I hope everything is done. Okay, perfect. Looks like it is. If not, then it will give an error. Second thing, all you need to do is ng-serve. That's it. So to start your server, go to your server directory and say nodemon start. If you're on the client, just say ng-serve. And next thing is, all you need to do, go back here, localhost 4200, and your app will be ready to. That's it. So that's all it takes. I hope you won't have any problem doing the installation. So, but please, if you have that, just leave your comments on my GitHub repository, and I'll be happy to help you out. At this point, if you're watching this, just because you want to do the installation, or if you are an end user for the community project, please, this is it. That's all I have to show it to you. But if you're a developer, please stay on. I want to take this opportunity to walk you through the code here. Okay. Again, this is not a code along project because there's too much code I have written, but I quickly want to do a code walkthrough so that you understand how the code is organized and things like that. Okay, so on the client hand side, for example, everything is under the source. Okay, and in source, as you can see, if you go to the app routing module, so this is all the routes have been given. So for example, there's a salary code, job code, leave code, things like that. All the pages are there. Okay, suppose you want to include your project or update anything, everything you will find to this one. App.module is basically, it has includes all the modules what I've used in this one. So I recommend, suppose you want to change something to the salary or say job code. All you need to do, job code, and you can see is written under the job code component. And where is the job code component located? It's under the setup, and there's a file called jobcode.component. So let's go to under the setup. So you see the job code, there are two files, jobcode.component.ts and jobcode.component.html. So let me show you the HTML version first. Okay, again, there's too much code written, so there are three different modes. One is the search mode, one is add mode, edit mode, and results mode. Sorry, I said three. There are four different. So results, add, edit, and search. Basically, I should have created different components, but again, it's a design pattern. So some people say, what, you are writing, two different files, and some people say, again, up to you. If you want to split this code into 4 different files, please do that. But again, everything is based on this toggle field. So suppose you go to the app and click on the search icon, you basically what you're doing is changing your toggle field, and you are just showing a different view. That means I'm showing this div based on the toggle field you have selected. So this is the search form, this is the add form, this is the edit form, and this is the result form. So, and let me show you one component.ts file here. So in TS, basically, again, so as you can see, couple of things, basically you will need to import all these packages, what these animations are doing. So remember, you were seeing the animations, the screens were appearing on top of that, and it's a very slow moving animation, very good, nice looking GUI. So it gives you a very good feeling to your app. If you don't like it, please, you can change it or get rid of this one. No big deal. These are the couple of things you will need. These are the standard things. I have a practice saved changes, error, and data loading. So data loading, I don't know if you paid attention to that or not. Suppose you click on the login page, so you see a circular icon keep moving until the data has been loaded. Let me show you. So I hope my Angular app is serving. So let's go back to that one. Okay. Now, for example, I don't know how to show that to you. See that, the screen, how it changes. So for example, that's what the animation does. So look at this. It's an effect, it's sliding in from the left hand side. And second thing is, so for example, you are adding something. So it's too quick, so I'm not able to show that to you. But actually, there's a circular icon. It says loading. That's what it does. So going back to this, it says data loading. Where did it go? That's what actually data loading does. So anytime I'm calling a function, say get data, I always set it to say true. Okay, this data loading is true. And if there is an error, so this error equals to true, error message equals to error.message, and then I set it to false. So, and then if you have an error or error message, if you go back to the UI, it shows, okay, this is the error. For example, see that? It says, if error is true, show me the error message. And this is the data, data loading thing it does. So very nice looking, very simple things. It just gives you a different feeling to, look and feel to your app. It makes make it look more professional. And this error.message, by the way, it's coming from server, but I will tell you exactly, what it does. So in any file, there are a couple of, I just want to quickly walk you through again, I won't be able to walk you through the entire code, but basically I want to tell you how this is done. What this view child, these functions, these are these are written for the results mode. So for example, see in the results you have job code, title, and action. That's what it's actually doing, code description, and you see that in the pagination and filter, it's coming because of this thing. Okay. Now there are a couple of other functions at the last written. So you see these three are, once a view is loaded, that's what it loads the Angular material data table. So that's the only thing, only contribution what it is doing. Okay. Next thing I want to walk you through is toggle. So again, based on the if I click on this one, all I'm doing like toggle field equals to search. That's all it's doing. So I toggle, I pass this filter, and it becomes the search mode. So it start playing the search. And if I click on this one, so it will say toggle and show me the add mode. That's basically all it does. Okay. Now, okay, what else? So, and when the component is initiated, basically all it does, it shows the search mode by the default. Intentionally, there's something I want to discuss here. So when you load the job code, intentionally, as you can see, if you load any page, okay, it goes by default. I'll make you go to the search page, because I'm not just going to show the display the results here. See, again, a lot of times what happens, you deploy your database to the cloud, and these cloud services, they charge you per click. So again, I don't want to show, again, you have to, I'm making my users to fetch the data from the database. If you don't need the data, I'm not going to show it to you, because that's way, just saving the cost on the database clicks. Okay. Now, next thing is get data. Again, I'm using one function for two different things. Suppose you want to search something. So you put the imply code here, this thing here. So suppose you put the imply code, say 10,001. Of course, I'm not sure if there is anything. There's no imply code here. That's one search function. Second is like, show recent results. So go to the server and pick last 5. Third thing is, this is internal. So there are two different ways I'm searching. Third way I'm searching the data is through edit. Here I'm passing a one document ID. So all of these things are using one function. It's called get data. As you can see, these are optional filters. Suppose I know my document ID, so I put the document ID. If I don't, then put the filter or document. So suppose I'm again go back to this search function and say 10,001. So it will, that means I'm passing the 10,001 here. So basically that's all it does. Okay, and I'll go back to what exactly how the server thinks it's doing, how it's going to the server and fetching the data. Okay. Second thing is set data. Set data is no different, same thing. It's taking all the form data. So suppose you click on that plus button and you fill out everything. The moment you click the add, what it does, it takes all the add form, put it inside set data, calls this function, which writes to the server. And if there is any error or something, it will come back and say, what error is this, some error. If there's no error, it comes back saying, what, there's a successful return. So basically it says save changes equals to true. So if you have seen, let me show you one page, say leave code, and I quickly create a leave code here, say RT and say 20, and if I click on add, see the data is saved. That's what it does. It says save changes equals to true. So that means like data is saved. Now if you click on this one, it will throw you back to the search page. So that's how the set data is written. Update data again is not very different. It's very, very similar to that set data. You might ask me why you have written two different functions, but because set data you have to pass the document ID. Because set data you can the data doesn't even exist, but update data, the data does exist, and you are going to, so you have to pass the document ID. So there is one document ID I'm passing here, and the only difference is you can see set job code, and this is called set job code doc. That's the only difference. Okay. Now let me show you, how these things are written here. So everything, as you can see, there's a backend service. So all the database code, good thing is I always intend to write at one place. This is written at the backend service. The two different services I have written, AuthGuard and backend service. I forgot to mention that. So for example, what AuthGuard does, suppose I log out, and if I try to go to that employee, it will not let me go back to the employee. It will say, what, because you are not signed in. So it will keep throwing you back into the login, and it won't let you proceed until you log in. That's all that AuthGuard is doing. Okay. Okay. So now let's go back to employee. Okay. Now go to the back. So this is what AuthGuard service is doing. It's very simple. It's checking for the token. If token exists, then it lets you. One more thing, you might ask me, what if somebody manipulates that token? Suppose I steal this token, and you will get all the data. No, that's not going to happen, because I'll show you the server side of the code. I'm taking each and every token and validating it with the existing JWT token. So it's not like, anybody can give, pass a token from any client side and it will show you. No, that's not going to happen. And I'll show you the server side code in a minute. But before I do that, let's go to the backend service. So as you can see, backend service, I'm calling a GraphQL server. Again, I have a different tutorial on GraphQL. That's a totally entirely different beast. GraphQL, if you don't know what that is a middleware supported by Facebook, developed and supported by framework. It's a framework, middleware framework, and it's awesome. That it lets you connect to any database of your choice. That's why I keep on saying, suppose tomorrow you want to use MongoDB or CouchDB or MySQL Server or Oracle or anything. So it lets you, you don't have to rewrite your code. That's a good thing about GraphQL. So that's why I'm using GraphQL here. Okay, now as you can see, let me go to the one function and that you will understand. For each page, there are 4 different functions I have written. Get job code, set job code document, and delete job code. Very simple. All it's doing, calling a GraphQL URL, passing all the variables, all the fields. That's all it is doing. So very simple thing. So for example, say leave code. So get leave code, set leave code doc, and delete leave code doc. Again, if you want to combine this, please feel to do that. Okay, I just written 4 different methods, and people ask me, you have written everything in one file here, which you should have made like add.component and edit.component, update.component, and you combine everything here, and then you are writing 4 different functions here. Again, whatever is, it doesn't matter. It's like, suppose you combine everything, all you're going to do, you will save 500 KB maximum. The whole app you saw is like, is 300 KB only. So you're not going to save a lot of space. Again, so if you want to rewrite that, please feel free to do that. Okay, so basically all this is doing this thing here. Okay, now let me show you the server side. That's more important. Okay, so now let's go to the server side. Sorry guys, there's too much code to review. Okay, if you're not interested, please go to the GitHub repository. You have all the code. You can browse through it at your own place. But I just want to quickly show you the index.js is your entry point. Your entry point is schema. Schema says Mongo. Everything else is a boilerplate float. There's not too much into this one. So basically, all it's saying is schema, and is hooking up that schema to this GraphQL URL which you are accessing from the client. Now let me show you what schema is. So under the schema, as you can see, there are 2 different schemas. They are identical. MySQL version is not ready yet, so I'll show you MongoDB schema. MongoDB schema, for every function you see, there is a resolver I have written, and there are connectors I have written. So if you don't know what resolvers and connectors are, I'll just quickly walk you through it. There's another GraphQL tutorial, but basically very simple thing. So what it does, suppose you're trying to access that get user queue. It says, okay, and there's also the row level security also. So for example, you are trying to say, suppose you don't want your salary, everybody, all of your employee, you are 2 different operators who are accessing this app. One operator can access everything, and other operator you don't want him to see all the salary. So what you can, you can assign the roles. So by default, I'll show you. So for example, get employee queue. It says, okay, give me all the, so from the front end, it says, okay, give me all the employee. Give me the employee ID you are trying to access. Then suppose I say, these are the IDs who are allowed to access this one. It's a little complicated. So it takes the resolver, and if it goes to the resolver, let me show you what resolver is. And it's a resolver, all it checks, okay, it takes your ID, it checks the token. So remember you had that token saved. It takes the token, it append into that one, and it will go to the connector. So that's basically all resolver is doing. There's not much role resolver is playing here, but basically it's taking the token. Token means and I'll show you in a minute what token does. So what token does here, it takes your value, so suppose you are trying to access I'm your employee and you are trying to access my data. It says, okay, first who you are. So it says, okay, my ID. And then it takes, are you allowed, or is seriously allowed to see my data or not? So that's what actually that thing was doing. So go back to this one. So it takes your ID and it pulls all your role. And if your role is not admin or owner, it will throw you back. It will say, you know what, you're not allowed to see that. So there's another admin page. There's an enterprise version where you can maintain all that admin things or all, but basically that's all it does. Okay, and then it goes to the connector, and basically, it's just like, it accesses the model, the data model, MongoDB data. For everything you can see there's a voucher, salary voucher. Let me show you salary voucher. So this is the salary voucher, this is the employee ID. I'm saving all of this thing. It takes that and it does the CRUD operation. So CRUD operations are again very, 4 different functions, very simple thing. I've tried to kept it simple intentionally because, server side I don't want to make it complex. Otherwise there's too much code to, people get confused very easily. So first it says salary. First it checks the roles. It says, okay, am I allowed as a user? You are allowed to see other person's salary or not? If yes, if that means you are authenticated, go ahead and show it to you. This is the get function. So then you will see all the data. Okay. So basically it's a little complex, but again, once you see the code, I'm pretty sure you won't. I've tried to use the generic wordings here, so you may not have any problem. But if you have any comments or anything like that, if you don't find it easy enough, please leave your comments to my GitHub repository, and I'll try to help you out. So I hope this is a little convenient. This serves your purpose. The whole objective was I wanted to show how to use the latest mean stack with Angular 6 and those technologies. But in future, keep in mind, using this stack, I can convert any app. So for example, you give me an app which works on Java and Oracle or VB or something Access database. What I have done for I can take anything, and as you can see, I can also connect the MySQL here. So if you want one database, using this I can connect to multiple databases. I can take the data from one database, put it into the another. So this is something you can use it along with the existing softwares, or you can you give me any dead or old code and we can revive it to the new this new looking thing, a new looking GUI here. Again, this is not stuck to this one. So for example, if you want to use a React or Vue.js or anything like that, all you have to do, call the appropriate function. Basically at the client side, as you saw, there's not much code in there. On the client side, all it is doing, if you know that JavaScript function, let me go back to the backend service again. So as you can see, everything it is doing is in JavaScript. All it is doing, executing a query. So as long as you can execute in this anything, like if you have plain simple HTML JavaScript, you should be able to do that. So basically the whole point was like showing you how using GraphQL you can connect to multiple databases or things like that. So hopefully you will be able to make use of this app. Again, this is a community project, so please feel free to if you want to have another enterprise version, let me know. But definitely you can make use of this one. I hope it will like you can customize this. The most important thing is you can, suppose you want to use some other fields, so as long as you understand one file, you will be able to make changes and deploy it as per your need. So hopefully you will find it very helpful. Please leave your comments to my GitHub repository, and if you want to make it even better, just fork it and create a different